Now I know I've got to take this apart to look at the tape deck and the mini disc part. What I've decided to do is just check if I can get the CD working, because that'll be one less job. And I have seen some videos, not of this particular deck, but I have seen some that show how well packed everything is on these. I've got myself a DVD CD lens cleaner, so this should work, or it may not work at all. So it's still complaining here, no disc, which is as expected. So let's take that one out. So these sort of lens cleaners have been around for donkey's years. What they do is they kind of sit proud of the case that they're sat in, because underneath they have some bristles, normally a line of bristles. There you go, some there and some there, and that's just enough to go over the lens. So let's just see if this is sufficient enough. Is it dust or is it a bigger problem? Get the CD cleaning disc out, see if there's any evidence of dust on there. Let's give it a little blow. Perhaps I should have cleaned this actually as well. Let's give that a little clean. It's looking like some mould on there, doesn't it? Which doesn't bode well, but let's give it a second attempt. What's interesting is it's not coming up straight away saying it can't read the disc. It obviously cannot read the disc, but it's not telling me that, is it? Alright, I think we've given that a good shot using the cleaning disc. It's hard to see, but it is a very dusty mechanism inside there. Now when I bought this unit a good 5+ years ago, it did work in all ways. Now since then it's been used in a bedroom, and that was fine, and then it's been located in a dining room where the missus tends to dry off the clothes in the winter. So maybe it's just got damp. I'll just hope that it's not too far gone, because obviously when lenses, be it camera lenses or laser pickups, get affected by the damp, by mould, it can be sort of internal where you can't really get to the bit you want to clean. So I'm just hoping it's going to be a bit more straightforward than that. It'd be a shame to lose the CD part of this and only have the mini disc and cassette working, but that might be what happens. There's a few screws holding this all in. I'm expecting to find it very congested in there, so we shall see. There might be some underneath as well. Ooh, got a dead spider there. I was expecting a wraparound case, but they do seem to be sides to it, plastic sides. There's a screw I missed. Ooh, something wants to come apart, so I've got to be very careful not to pull any ribbons out. It's obviously useful to do this recording, because if I do anything wrong I can hopefully rectify it. That's my plan anyway. So ground, like an earthing connection there. Oh wow, that's just the cassette bit then. Well, that's quite straightforward taking that out, but whether or not I get into the belts is easy. Okay, I think I can see the issue on the cassette side. So inside there's the main belt for driving the play. That's a thick belt here. And then underneath that there's a finer belt. I'll just put my finger on that, and that just doesn't have any tension in there at all. So that does need to be looked at. Let's not do that yet. Let's disassemble it a little bit more. So this unit here is the mini disc. There's a few screws holding that in. Shall we separate the front panel? There's a earthing connection here. It's there. Oh, that's quite nice. That comes off quite easily. It's looking pretty filthy, isn't it? It's a good clean anyway. Seeing if I can get to the laser without taking too much apart. Now the screws on this side for this wall, I'll call it a wall, that's holding this board in place, that may have to be brought down. And there's obviously a screw here on this top cover. Is it just one screw? There's a bit more light there. Let's see what I'm doing. That's interesting. That doesn't look standard to me. Bit of parcel tape there. I've never had this apart myself, so maybe that's someone else. Maybe a bit premature taking this connector out. Let's put that one back in. I've got the mini disc out. Just located inside there. See that? So we've got some springs. We've got this bit on the front. I can probably do it in situ. It should just come off. That one's off. Oh yeah, look. That doesn't look very well, does it? So that's the loading bout. So when I say about doing it in situ, this is mounted on top of the CD kind of cover. So I could probably leave that on there. It's just a case of pulling out the right connectors. As long as it clears it. It's driving that anyway. That one's definitely lost its spring. This one, so the replacement is sort of a 2 centimetre diameter. Tricky thing will be to get this back on again. Right, I'll give it a proper test once I've done the CD part. So what do I do? Give it a little bit of a clean, maybe give it a blowout with some compressed air. I got this CD laser to begin reading the disc by turning it the very small amount anti-clockwise, and I could only do that actually with the mini disc in place as well. Be very careful there of these two pins exposed on the back of this board. That's the 240 volt power supply. Good, that seems to be working. I don't know if part of my problem is because I was using too thick a bout for the motor to drive. So this is the one I'm trying to replace here. What I've got, the best I've got at the moment is these O-rings. So I'm just going to use 3 of these combined. They're a little bit smaller than the original, and hopefully that'll work. Finally got this working. I wasn't pushing this in hard enough for it to click, because what you need to do is make sure that that metal bit sits inside the plastic there. So once it's done that, it is a lot happier. So you can put the mini disc in. Yeah, see, and it reads straight away. You can hear it spinning, which is good. And then when I come to eject, it's pretty good as well. With those bouts I showed you. Oh, it snapped. It snapped as I was taking it off, but luckily I caught it right in the nick of time. 6 centimetres was it? No, probably smaller than that. This belt pack is coming in quite useful. This is maybe 5 centimetres across that belt. Straightforward belt change. Well, it's no sign it's going to be any cooler today. Definitely feels warm. I'm down in the basement. This is what I call it. It's not really a basement, but it's a very small area. I've got all my junk, and then the junk goes into the garage as well. So I've got the garage door, well, the door going into the garage slightly open. Because it sounded all right, I'm not going to do anything else with this for now. The main thing is I can hopefully rewind tapes or fast forward them. This mini disc receiver, cassette CD player, is very well featured. So besides allowing you to record to cassette and record to mini disc, and then vice versa, you're able to set recording levels for recording to mini disc. And if you're not happy that you've recorded at the right level and you need to even lower the level of the recording, then you're able to do that. Another thing that you can do with this model is you can add your own CD text to the CDs that you play. So this will recognise the CD that you've inserted. If it's one that hasn't got CD text on it, you can basically add a title to it, and that title will then show up in the display for you. There's a maximum of 50 titles that you can store. Another thing that you can do here is when you're recording off the radio, if you're like making your own recordings of the top 40, for example, not that you do it these days, but say if you were waiting for the DJs to stop talking and then you want to record, there is an internal buffer of up to 6 seconds, which means that if you're a few seconds late pressing the record, audio is not lost because it'll record what's already in the buffer. So that means that you will always capture the start of whatever you're listening out for on your radio broadcast. So that's really quite handy. And then with the power of the mini disc editing features, you can trim and cut things apart and really make a tidy compilation of your recordings doing that. This is also a MD long play machine, which is really handy. If you set it recording in LP2, then you get pretty good quality and you can cram a little bit more onto your mini disc. So that is a really nice feature to have. And it is a standard Type R deck, this one, not a Type S. So Type R is pretty good for most things. Thank you for watching this video. Please like this video to tell me to make some similar videos in the future. Bye for now.